Hello, this is our project presentation 2, which will go over the details of our senior project. We are implementing a web-based scheduling system designed to assist organizations who have a dynamic and complex staffing need. This is Gustavo, Valerie, Timothy, and Daniel. For our project walkthrough on the back end, our objective is to create a management system for efficiently handling employees, organizations, sites, shifts, and employee requests. The backend development, we have a RESTful API with CRUD functionality for employees, organizations, sites, shifts, and employee request. We created a new model for employee request for managing shift trades and time off requests. And we also included punch in and punch out routes for the logic to handle attendance with features to manage edge cases like overnight shifts. For the backend schema models, we include the new schema to handle the time off requests and shift trades, and creating or updating request employees logic checks to ensure no invalid time frame or overlapping time off requests have been created and no duplicate shift trades. More in on the routes for employee requests, we have CRUD functionality with the verification checks for creating and updating requests. The time off request cannot be created before the current date, have an end time before the start time, or overlap with others. And shift trades cannot have duplicate requests per employee.
For backend shift punching request, we have implemented punch in and punch out API routes to track employee shift times. The routes include checks to ensure punch-ins aren't duplicated. The punch-outs follow punch-ins, and shifts aren't punched out twice.
Hello, I'm Gus, and I'm working on developing front-end features. I have been specifically focusing on the employee dashboard view, and I have implemented mostly all of its core functionality. I have implemented a weekly view of an employee shift information, a 2-week schedule feature where an employee can interactively see details for a shift, a timesheet feature where an employee can see the amount of hours at work and provides a warning if any punches are missing, a clock in, clock out feature, and a time off and shift trading request feature. Additionally, I've recently started leveraging the MUI React library to give the employee dashboard a more refined appearance. This is an employee's weekly view before and after using the MUI library. This is the first page an employee sees after they log in which they get a quick overview of their week and a list of team contacts specific to their organization. The employee can then navigate to our other features by using the left-hand sidebar or stay on the home page and click through the tabs along the top. This is the 2-week schedule view where the currently selected day is indicated with the blue border along the top. A green border along the bottom indicates that the employee has a shift scheduled for that date. An employee can then click on a date to get more details about a shift, such as the time, the name, and the location. The timesheet feature allows the user to see how many hours they have worked over the last 2 weeks and highlights any issues that they may have had with their punches. This is our clock in and clock out feature. Our application will display the current shift for which an employee is scheduled for. They are then able to either clock in or clock out of their shift depending on their current punch status in our database. I also added warnings in case an employee forgets to clock in or out. Our application will notify them that they will need to contact their manager for assistance. This is our requests feature. The component lists an employee's current requests along with their current status. The employee can submit a time off or a shift trade request by clicking the corresponding button, and then a pop-up appears where they can enter the required information. Lastly, the time off request uses an interactive date picker to enhance the user's experience. Now I'll hand it over to Valerie, who will go over the manager view.
Hello, I'm Valerie, and I am currently working on the manager UI components of the project. So aesthetically, it will look similar to the employee dashboard since I will also be utilizing Material UI to create many of the components. But the manager view will have access to all employee details. So this will include how many employees are currently working in the organization, how many hours they will be working within the next month, and any shift trades that are happening between two employees. So just to show a couple of manager functionalities that I've been working on, this here is the manager monthly calendar. So when selecting the schedule tab at the top, the calendar will highlight today's date by default. With full functionality, this calendar will have an indicator which will show as a dot or a circle that will let the manager know that at least one employee is scheduled to work on that given day. Clicking on that day will display the team of employees scheduled for that day, how long their shift is, and where they'll be working for the day. Next, I'd like to show the timesheet tab, which will show past and future shifts for each employee. To the left of this table, it will show each employee and their employee ID associated with them. Next to their name, it will show the hours worked or hours that they will be working within a 7-day period. By default, each day will have 0 hours scheduled until the work hours have been populated from the back end. And manager-specific functionality, they will also be able to manually input hours for a specific employee.
For our planned features on the front end, we want to update the sign and homepage UI so that it leverages the MUI component library. We want to update the navigation sidebar for the employee view and update the information displayed when viewing a shift in the employee dashboard. On the back end, we want to complete the validation logic for employee request and implement shift trade verification route and logic, as well as conduct final integration tests on authentication and shift management. For our test plan, our objective is to ensure security, stability, and usability of all functionalities. For end-to-end testing, we want to validate the front-end and back-end communication with secure login and authentication, and test all CRUD operations for employees, organizations, site shifts, and employee requests. For specific testing, we want to validate overlapping shifts during creation and updates and test punch-in and punch-out functionalities for secure time tracking.
Regarding issues, we had a CSS styling incompatibility with MUI components. For the mitigation strategies, we're thinking about leveraging MUI SpaceX prop to apply styles directly within components for better compatibility and consistency. Regarding individual responsibilities, Gus is full stack development, employee specific UI element, secure sign-in and deployment, and Valerie is a front-end development, manager specific UI element, and team is doing a backend development, database configuration, routing functionality, and I doing the backend development as well and doing the query processing. Thank you.